Alright, so hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Okay, so a little bit later tonight, but we've got a good one on tonight. Just it's an all white kind of thing going on tonight. So little bit of it's basically a mid-range PC, so look, we'll jump right into the specs and we'll put it all together. Let's see how quickly I can assemble this thing, because it is late, and the longer I take, the tireder my brain gets, and the more likely I am to make a mistake. So how about we test me out? How quickly can I do it without making any mistakes? Alright, so I'm going to start the clock right now. It is in 12 seconds. My watch says it's 20:35. It doesn't matter what the actual time is, it just matters what my watch says, which is right now. So we have the i5 12400F 6 core 12 thread CPU. We've got a Gigabyte Aorus B760M Aorus Elite AX motherboard there. We've got an RTX 4060 Ti. We have a Data Legend 800 1TB NVMe SSD. We have a 32GB kit of DDR5 RAM. It is 5600 MHz CL36. We've got ourselves a Corsair RM750 power supply there with white cabling, and we've got a Silverstone Farah 512 case in white. So let's get stuck right into it. So this is a good motherboard, this one. Decent price for one that's got a lot of sort of silver and white on it, because they don't miss you with the pricing of these things. What do you get with that? Just some SATA cables. I actually had to get rid of a lot of SATA cables the other day. They went to e-waste. So people just aren't using them anymore. So I used to hand them out to people, but then lots of people would ask me, what are these for and stuff like that. It would just start to confuse people. Alright, so we'll just talk about the features on this board. So we've got 12 pins of CPU power, really nice silver direct touch heat sinks here on our MOSFET VRM coprocessors. Got our LGA 1700 socket there. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 fan headers on this board. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 RGB headers, so 2 5V, 2 12V. Obviously our dual channel memory there, DDR5, our motherboard power connector, USB-C, USB 3, 2 SATAs, Thunderbolt headers, front panel connectors, TPM, 2 USB 2s, and just our front panel audio, and our audio capacitors down here, these little gold guys. And then around the back here we've got, what's that, a total of 9 USB ports, 8 type A and 1 type C there, 4 USB 3 or greater and 4 USB 2, and we've got optical audio there as well. So pretty good little motherboard here. So we'll start by putting the RAM in. I hate these packets. I opened it up partially before, just because it's safer than me trying to open them with scissors or a knife while I'm live. So yeah, always remember with your RAM, you really want to make sure that you feel a nice click on both sides of the sticks. That tells you that it's in place, and you should always put nice even pressure down when you're plugging it in. Shouldn't sort of make it click on one side then the other. Try to press it down in one motion. Okay. Oh yeah. Hang on. Can we maybe upgrade this cooler? I reckon we can upgrade this. I had this better cooler sort of left over as a spare, so it's got RGB as well. It's a stock cooler, Intel, but it's this solid ass looking thing. Have a look at this, babe. Yeah.
George says hi.
Hey George, how you going? Good to have you with us.
Been a while, mate. I hope you're both well.
Yes, yes, all good. All good. Hopefully have a few more coming up soon. Pre-applied thermal compound on this. You do need to put in a actual backplate for it, because it's basically like, it's a stock cooler that's not really a stock cooler. It's like having an aftermarket cooler on there.
So this is new venue.
What's that?
New venue.
New venue? No, not a new venue.
Kind of. He's not really doing ads, so.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not, when I said
pursuing other things.
I'm doing other things with my time, just because it's been like, for the amount of money I spend on ads, and you know, the amount of time it takes to you know, reply to all the messages and do all the quotes, it's just not sort of worth my time. It's gotten really bad, so at least for a while I'm not going to be running ads, so I'll be a little bit quieter on that front. But it's just because like everyone got new PCs, if you know what I mean. Over the last couple of years there's been so many PCs sold, right? And that's got a lot to do with the fact that, yeah, you know, COVID hit and everyone basically got a new PC from that.
That's one chunky fucking cooler.
It is definitely a chunky. Very, very chunky. Huh? I've literally never mounted one of these. That's really painful. These bolts kind of like move around a little bit. They're not sort of like held in place. If you don't have it all lined up just right.
What type of flour does an orphan use to bake a cake? Self-raising.
I guess. Yeah. Bloody hell. Let's upgrade the cooler for free, I said. Yes, it's just an air cooler. There we go. Oh, it looks cool. It's silver, it goes with the rest of the board, right? So we've got an RGB cable and we've got a motherboard cable right here, or I should say a CPU fan cable plugs into the motherboard. Like I said, the longer this takes, the tighter I get, more likely I am to make a mistake. Oh no. I'm not that worried. Okay, so under here we've got a thermal pad. It's a toolless mounting mechanism, so I don't need my screwdriver other than to put that heatsink on. What do we got here? This is an M2 drive here. It's actually got a heatsink that's not actually on it. I am going to go ahead and put this heatsink on.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, no, don't worry. I pressed one of the side buttons on my mouse and I thought I fucked everything up for a second then. Wait, no,
Okay, there's the actual sort of heat spreader that comes with the drive. I'll put that down. It's metal. I'm going to assume that the engineers that designed it to go on and to be used, even if you have a another thermal pad like this. There we go. Alright, so motherboard's all sorted. Power supply. We can prep that up and then we can put it in the case and we'll be pretty much good to go. Power cable, don't forget that. Alrighty, so modular power supply here, so we just plug in the cables that we need. So we have these braided cables. I mean, they're white, but I'm not really, like, personally, I mean, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with the quality of them or anything like that. They're probably, you know, probably even better protected than normal. But I just prefer the look of just the sort of plastic sleeving there. I sort of find that it can be like sort of molded into shape better than this stuff. It sort of gets a bit unco trying to do it, but you know, the way that I'll be installing it, you're only going to see this bit anyway. What do we got here? That looks like a CPU. So we're going to use, we got 12 pins of CPU power. Realistically, we don't really need 12 pins of CPU power, but we'll install it because it's there. Yeah. Yeah, check this out. This is the high-end Intel stock coolers that come with, like, say, a 13900 non-K. You know, the ones that come with a CPU. And so I thought, yeah, like, no, but it comes with a CPU. It's the cooler that comes with the CPU. And I got one from someone who ordered one. It was just the cheaper one there, and because he had an AIA that was going with it, this just got pushed aside. And I just sort of thought, with all this silver and white here on the motherboard, that silverish cooler will fit nicely with the silver on the board there. So okay, so that is our power supply all prepped and ready to go. The rest of those cables we can just put to the side. Warranty on our case and fans. Unfortunately, with this, you only get a 12-month warranty on the fans. The positive is the particular fans that are in there, they're about $10 each to replace, so it doesn't really matter that there's only a 12-month warranty on them. It's like I say to people, I'm like, you know, I ship you a PC. If it is just a fan, like I'm more than happy to like, you know, I'm more than happy to send you a fan and then you send me back the other fan and stuff like that. The problem is, by the time you go and like go to the post office and ship me the fan, you pretty much have paid the cost of just buying a new fan. So it's generally easier to do it that way anyway, and you'll get it quicker. You don't have to wait for me. That's the advantage of having cheap fans, but then you've got the like way more expensive fans that are like $50 each and stuff. They can be a little bit more problematic. However, you know, if you've got the Liam Lee kind of system with, you know, 9 fans, including those on the cooler, you don't really have to worry too much about one fan going down. Like, it's not really going to make any big difference to your temperatures or anything like that. For the most part, your airflow will still be running the same way. You know, whether it's got a little bit either positive or negative pressure depending on where the fan has failed.
Ladio says I'm sticking around until the end to see how the cooler performs on Cinebench.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, it's just a 12400, so it's not like we're going to be giving it a full workout, not like a 13900 would have been, but it'll definitely be running cooler. I'm just keen to see what it all looks like once it's all assembled. Okay, so what else have we got? We got some stuff standoff, offset, little thingy, whatever you want to call them. You can argue about that till the cows come home. Alright, so I've got to set it up for a micro ATX board. So the case came configured for a small ATX board. So a small ATX board is thinner than a regular size ATX board, and it only has 6 screw holes that mount it to the chassis. However, if you want to have a full-size ATX board, you have to screw in 3 extra offsets over there. And if you want to do a micro ATX board, you have to do 4 extra offsets. So a little bit of fun and games there. Okay. So in here there's a little bit of a hook. You can sort of tuck your fan cables up around that. Just sort of route the cable there around the side of the fan and up top and out the back. Then all of that is out of the way, and it'll be really easy to put your motherboard in the case. Okay. So we can start from the top. We got CPU. So we've got 12 pins, and then we've got 16 pins here. So we need to split this in half.
Meow. Fluffy meow.
So what you can do is you just remove a bit of this plastic there at the end. It'll just give you a bit of extra length there in the cable. So you want to make it look like, you know, as neat as possible. There we go. And back to the braid. Might still need to. Yeah, there we go. Once you get back to the braid, you can kind of like pull the cable out a bit more, and it gives you a bit of extra length. And then, which way is it going? Okay, so it's basically like that. And so I can just like back here a little bit, I can just line that up right.
Have you seen this one?
Oh, the Trumps.
No. Reebok is fast, Nike is faster, but these are fastest.
Yes. There we go. And so now we just have the one cable there going into our 12 pins. And pretty straightforward here with our power cable for the motherboard. That just plugs straight in. Now I just have the fans and the other cables to the motherboard, and we can chuck the graphics card in and we'll be good to go. So if you're worried, there are splitter cables, so we don't need to utilize every fan header here or anything like that. And if you're wanting to know the technical stuff, these are DC fans. So not PWM, they're DC, and that just means for an average person who doesn't want to know all the technical stuff, it's basically 3-pin fans and 4-pin fans. And so you don't really have to know anything about that. However, there's a cable here for this bottom fan. It's tightened up underneath the hard drive tray. I'm going to have to actually loosen the hard drive tray at the bottom here.
Suck shit.
Did you just tell me to suck shit?
No support over here.
No. Okay. Me dead. Well, that's one way to slow you down. Okay. And knowing my luck, this has done some cable damage, and I'll have to swap out a fan. That'd be my luck.
Kellogg's CEO under fire after suggesting people should eat cereal for dinner.
What's wrong with eating cereal for dinner if you're like really, really lazy and don't have much food, you know, in the fridge?
Nothing, but I just find it funny that he's under fire.
Under fire from like
saying that.
breakfast conservatives or something like that. You can only eat these foods at this time of day. Oh, give me a break, man. It's all food. Just don't eat shit. How about that? Okay. So we got these fans here. So I'll just put one cable tie around these. It's pretty straightforward. This is a group of 3. Okay, so our RGB on the cooler is the end of the chain. This is the beginning of the chain. So we'll start by connecting this to the motherboard. Just come around the top here. Okay. And so now we can start to chain everything up. So 1, 2, up. And so basically this is just like daisy chaining any other like light that you're familiar with, if you're familiar with anything like that. So 1, 2, 3. Why am I missing one?
You suck.
Yeah, I know, right? One, 2, 3. Oh. I didn't plug in the frickin' CPU cooler, which is the end of the chain. I've literally just finished talking about it being the end of the chain. Okay. And so that bundle of cables there is all of our RGB cables. And so if anything happens, we just have that one bunch of cables to replace. So that's got our whole daisy chain on it. And now we got these three. So, if I remember right, we got seriously? Ah. Don't you hate that? Out of sight, out of mind. Okay. So this here is a splitter. So you can plug PWM fans into this because it's got room for 4 pins, but it will just run as a DC fan because it's only got the 3 pins inside. Okay, and so we can plug all of our fans directly into the splitter cable here. And so basically, based on the amount of voltage that these fans being sent from the motherboard, that dictates how fast they run. That might sound pretty straightforward, but PWM uses 4 pins, and that actually allows them to go slower, not faster. So it's a little bit counterintuitive there. But yeah, PWM so they can run slower and more efficiently and all that. Okay. So what have we got here? We should have a front panel audio. So that can just scoot down the back here. And yeah, like I said a few times, audio is always down in that particular location. They're trying to keep it away from interference, so they always have the audio down the bottom bit of the motherboard there, shortest possible distance to where it's put on the motherboard. So Okay. So this actually has USB 2 and it doesn't have USB-C. So I mean that doesn't matter because the motherboard's got USB-C anyway, so. Okay, HD LED. And our reset switch. Our power on. And our power LED.
Mr. Will, he doesn't know if you're going to rebuild. Yes, he actually did.
Yes.
Start soon. It's a merchandiser job.
Okay. Alright, and just this one here for our graphics card. Easy. Oh. Oh. Okay, graphics card time. There we go. So you should be very, very careful when removing them. Make sure you don't damage anything on the motherboard. Ideally check it out first and remove them before you get to this stage in the build. Okay. So that took a little bit longer, like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But there are a couple of side tracks. I think overall, it's going to be worth it. Okay. So now, moment of truth. Is everything all hooked up correctly? Is there anything I need to troubleshoot before we go any further? Okay. Oh. Just being blind. Okay, so we have
There's a green sticker on the front of the case.
alright. We seeing stuff? Do we have a BIOS?
I am on the page. I was like, I don't know if BIOS or not.
Yeah, we need a BIOS. If you've got it right there. Okay. This BIOS is looking very, very sexy already. I mean, so if I go over to easy mode, it usually just tells you what version it is right there. Yeah, it's got everything you need, even CSM and stuff. It's down there. Imagine still running your old operating system off your old SSD and having to like click on CSM support in 2024. Like, I know there are some situations, but I'm just mean for an ordinary person. that person's out there. Trust me. What BIOS number are we up to?
F16.
Oh, we're pretty much up to date here. We got F15. And Fluffy. He's a very fluffy cat.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Easy. Why is this so slow? This is really strange. It shouldn't take this long. It's my USB on the way out or something. There seriously might be something wrong with my USB. Because I just don't know why it's going so slow. Away with you. Okay, so at first it's coming up with all this stuff on the screen. What's happening here is Windows is installing like the basic compatibility drivers with all the hardware that's connected to it. It's going to allow Windows to at least load up a screen that's interactive for you, at least at first until you got an internet connection, and then all of the software and drivers can be installed and updated. So it does all that, then it restarts itself, and then it boots up into the next phase of the Windows install, which is where you set up the basic Windows configuration settings. And then after that, then it loads the desktop. Then once we're at the desktop, that's when we can start doing stuff. Okay. And so this is where you've got the Windows set up. It'll ask you things like, what country are you from? The Bahamas. I think that's somewhere that you want to go, not live, though.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Oh, my R key's getting stuck.
Time to clean your keyboard.
Yeah, I know. Alright, so I'll plug in my SSD and I'll get a few things installed quickly. Things like our graphics card drivers takes up a fair bit of space and usually downloads fairly slowly from the servers. Most other stuff downloads relatively fast, it's not a problem. And yeah, this screen never takes several minutes. That's if you're installing Windows on older hardware. Then yes, it can definitely take several minutes. But the next thing we're going to see is Windows Desktop. We won't have all the drivers properly installed. Windows is just installing the bare minimum of what it needs to like talk to everything, at least, you know, in a minimal capacity. Okay. So, to get things started, install Windows, install Windows, install NVIDIA drivers for Windows. Can set up some icons here just so when I install things I don't leave crap all over the desk. Don't leave crap all over the desktop. Okay. Oh. So all this stuff that we install here, most of it is stuff just to sit in the background. Some of it's for our benchmark and stress tests. Some of it, like Steam, is for PC gaming. Firmark's for our stress test. Crystal Disk Mark and Disk Info tell you stuff about your storage devices. Gives you like a health rating, how much life is estimated that's left in it. Handy tool to have. It doesn't take up a lot of space. VLC media players are a really good media player. It'll play pretty much any video file. If it doesn't play it, it's probably not actually a video file. Okay, it's all done. I can plug in a network cable now and we can do the rest of it. Alright. So Cinebench or R23. R23 is the version number. Not too many apps are using that particular phrasing, for lack of a better word. Alright. That going on. Looks like Afterburner. This is going down, down to Sydney town. Okay. Okay, that's done. So Battle.net's just another gaming app. There's also the EA one. And Epic Games. And so to simplify it all, Steam is for everything, EA is for EA, Epic Games is for Fortnite, and Battle.net is for Warzone. Okay, that's all sorted. Alright, so here's all of our Gigabyte stuff. So this is the stuff that comes with the motherboard, all of the components and software that goes with the motherboard. So we'll go ahead and install that. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff all downloading at once here. That'll do its thing. I don't think I've got anything else I need to... Oh, hang on, Epic just was conflicting with something, so we can go and try that again now. Okay. So if we go over to Device Manager, we can see that there's a whole heap of unrecognized devices here under Other Devices. So all the stuff that we're installing here in Gigabyte Control Center, that's all of these devices here that aren't showing up correctly here in Windows. So basically, if you were to watch this install, you would see all of these eventually just removed from that other devices list, and depending on what it is, it'll fall into one of the actual categories. We can get MSI Afterburner set up while we wait. Okay, so this is just so we can see the stats of the PC while it's running. We can see it on the screen. And so these are the values we want to see on the screen. You can set this up at home. You can just do exactly what I'm doing right now. Just set up what you want to see on the screen. And then you can run whatever gaming benchmarks you want, and you'll be able to see it on the screen. You can also set it up with toggle keys, and then you can just toggle it on and off whenever you want while you're playing games if you want to see how the system's running. Alright, so it's done. Sorted, sorted, sorted. That's doing its thing. How we going over here? Coming along. I feel like that's kind of stalled on us. Alright, so there's still a few things going on there. Let's go ahead and run the first benchmark. Sometimes it can be a little bit unstable doing some stuff in the background, but it should run pretty much as expected. Alright, and that number there below RAM, that's how many frames per second it's running at. All the stuff on the screen, so from the top there we've got our GPU, that's our graphics card, temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage. MEM in green here, that's our VRAM, usage and clock speed. Got our CPU, temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage, and our RAM usage. And this number here below RAM, as I said, is the frames per second. So don't mind that interruption there, that was from stuff installing in the background. Sorry about that. Oh, it's going to force a restart on us. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, totally wasn't doing anything else. Okay. After it was very rudely had a restart forced on me. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. And hopefully we won't be rudely interrupted in the middle of it. So yeah, it might go back to the desktop a couple of times. That's the problem with running it while we're doing things. But as long as it doesn't force a restart on us, it won't be too much of a disruption. It's every time it installs a new driver from Gigabyte Control Center, it keeps coming back to the desktop.
Yep.
It's alright. It's not too big an interruption as long as I'm sitting here watching the entire thing. I mean, as you can see, the CPU, it's not really raising a sweat.
Is it started again?
I had to start it again because it forced a restart on me. Bloody thing. Right at the end. Okay, so we can exit out of heaven there. So that was on high with no anti-aliasing. Alright, pretty much everything has installed. So I'll show you all that stuff that wasn't installed over here. That's all disappeared now. There's not even a other devices tab showing up here because everything has been installed. It's all sorted. Oh, that's nearly downloaded there. Okay, so we're approaching the end. So next one we'll do is Valley. It's the same resolution. We'll run it on higher settings, but this one's more demanding even if we ran it on the same settings as the previous one.
Ever wondered how
Alright, so that was Valley there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing, and still installing. And so next one we'll do is the 4K benchmark. I wouldn't use this card at 4K, I'd just stick to 1080 and 1440p, but for consistency's sake, we'll run that one. Okay, and so that was superposition there at 4K. Alright, so someone wanted to see some additional benchmarks and temperatures and stuff for the different cooler there. We can do that. Oh, that does that lock thing. Hang on, let me hit stress. Let's just let it run through once on Cinebench. So this is what we use to stress test the PC, or in particular the CPU. And so yeah, this is about as demanding a workload as you can put on a CPU. Can do more, but this is pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so it took basically a minute and 10 seconds, was that? So pretty good for a 6-core chip. Oh, why am I getting out of Cinebench? So now we're going to do the stress test because we are at the end of the night. So we'll set this up to run for 90 minutes. And we'll do this as well. So this is stressing out the graphics card, and this is stressing out the CPU. And we're going to do it at the same time, and we're going to log the temperatures here in hardware monitor. Alright. Well, now's the time. If you've got any other final questions for me before I sign off, now's the time to hit me up. No, that's pretty much it. Alrighty, well look, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.